Oh, cool. My video isn't showing up, so that's really good. Give me a second on that one, and we'll get it right. Otherwise, it's gonna be a video-free day, which is not fun. How's everybody doing? Let me know how the weekend's going, plans, all that. Interesting. Okay. It's always something. Like this one, it's like black magic design, which is what I use, shows up twice for no particularly good reason. I don't know. Where are you going? All right, there we go. Now you got the whole studio set up. Hope everybody's happy, getting ready. I'm doing great, actually. I'm getting ready for a good weekend. Gonna work on a version visualization this weekend, so that should be fun. Tracking, showing how versions line up over time. So I'm actually kind of excited about like just spending some time and getting into that. Although it sounds really geeky, I gotta say, whatever. So yeah, we got all kinds of cool stuff today. The video for the week was actually working on TypeScript arrays. So I think we should do that for sure. But I actually also did 2 other videos this week. One was on a DIY performance gathering Chrome extension, which actually turned out to be, I think, pretty cool. And it goes over the sort of basic mechanics of a Chrome extension and how the parts and pieces work together. And then I also did Valshio, but that's not a great shot. Yeah, just yesterday in a new format I'm calling short subjects. Wow, that's kind of meta, right? You get like my face and then my face again down there. That's kind of cool. Anyway, so that I'm actually really excited by that. I actually did contribute a little bit just on the README to the Valshio code base, and it's cool stuff. If you watch the Valshio video and you want me to talk about that some more, it's definitely fresh in mind, so that would be easy. Okay, well, in the meantime, let's take a quick look at TypeScript arrays. And in the meantime, of course, feel free to jump in and tell me how you're doing and have a chat. Good to see you, Nick. Good to see you, Chris. Christopher or Chris? Some people really get into it, so, totally legit. Okay, so converting TS arrays. Now, just for my own sanity here, I'm going to have the finished version up there as well as the starter version. Just so you know, if I mess up, I'll know where to go. Okay, so what do we have here? We've got this weird piece of JavaScript. We got a test file that brings in a file of arrays. Okay, Chris, cool. That brings in a module that has some array things that appear to like go and look over, I guess, an array of people. So we got this array of people, and we can do find by name, find by profession, find by pet, find by first pet, or get the first pet of the person, which I guess in this case would be a dog. Yay! And then poor Angela here, who's a doctor, doesn't have a pet, so I'm guessing, I don't know, probably either get nothing or an exception. One of those two. Okay, so no, this is okay. So here's our start code for our array. It's pretty functional programming, cool, right? So you got your filter function in here, and your filter function's taking a function. That should be interesting to look at. And then we got some basic aliases here: find by name, find by profession, find by pet. Pretty cool. You just basically give it a different predicate to your filter, and away you go. And let's see. So get first pet actually does make sure that the length is non-zero. Okay, and we can deal with this. So how do we convert that to TypeScript? So we're going to go and do, first off, add TypeScript and TS node to our projecto, which, whoops, that was at the top level, so that's no good. Let's get rid of that. Package JSON and yarn lock. Okay, now we'll do it. Okay, so yarn add, let's do the same one. Boy, my work machine didn't have oh my zish, and woof, I was feeling it. until I actually brought it up, which is actually remarkably easy. Keeps getting easier, that one. So I'm going to do a start script that's going to use TS node to run test.js. Catching me live. Okay, Lenart, how you doing? Oh, thank you. Yeah, the Tech a Day series was fun. Boy, that feels like a million years ago, though. It was sort of at the beginning of the pandemic when we thought that like there'd be an end to the pandemic. Okay, so let's see. Let's just go do these side by side. So find by name finds me. That's cool. Find by profession. I'm an engineer, so it finds me there too. Find by pet finds a dog, so that's cool. And then find by find the first pet gives a dog, and yeah, okay. So this makes sense. And we can now see that this TS node, which is TypeScript, does evaluate. TS node is basically TypeScript node. So you can run we can run it on JS files like I'm doing now, or you can do TS. So I'm going to change over test.js to test.ts and convert that to TypeScript. And then rerun that. And ooh, boo. Okay, that's not good, huh? That's not good. Okay. Well, what's happening here is TypeScript doesn't like require. TypeScript wants an import. So we need to fix that. All right. Okay, let's give that another try. Oh, looking good. Okay, so that was all it took to convert our test file to TypeScript, but we're really not getting much out of it yet. So let's go and do the same thing with array.js and turn that into array.ts for TypeScript. Okay, let's fire that up again. And now this time it's unhappy with the module stuff. So I went in here, did the array, and what it's complaining about basically is these module exports. So what we're going to say is export const, like that. Let's run it again. Okay, pretty cool. Nice, not bad. But what are we really getting out of this? We're not getting anything out of it because, for example, it'd be really nice if I went over here and I did find by name, and then it gave some sort of hinting. Because in this case, it's basically saying, well, I'll take anything for people, and I'll take anything for name, and I'll respond with anything, which is not exactly very typey. Hey, AJ, how you doing? My first React interview, okay. Any advice on what I should study for my first React interview? Hooks. If you're not familiar, I would say a lot of the time when I do React interviews nowadays, I'm talking about hooks. In particular, React use effect is a big one. Because you can get a lot of issues in there. And then more generally, I tend to quiz people on JavaScript closures. I think that's really important to understand. I'm going to decrease the point size a little just because it was pretty crazily large there. Okay, so back at it. What we want to do is kind of make find by name, for example, a bit more clear in what we want. So that's what we're always looking for when it comes to TypeScript, is we're always looking for it to better convey our intentions as an engineer. So in this case, I want to intend to tell people what a person should look like. So I'm going to go grab this guy, and we're going to go create an interface for person. And I'm just going to put in that stuff. So we got a string. Should be the name. Got a string for the engineer. And then for pets, there's two different ways I can do this. I can say it's a string. It's an array of strings, like that. That's the shorthand version. Or if you're into this, you can also do array string, like that, which is more of a generic approach. But in all honesty, I would be more amenable to seeing something like this because arrays are so common that this is very, very standard. So if you're just using a standard array, I would just do it that way. Isaac says use reducer. Yeah, that's a good one. Absolutely. Yeah, I did a whole video on use reducer. I released a whole video on use reducer last week. So that was good. All right. Yeah, keep going, AJ, because I mean, I think everybody in the channel will probably have something like, for folks in the channel, when you want to go and interview someone about code, what do you ask them? And when it comes to JavaScript, do you talk about do you interview for TypeScript? That's an interesting question. Okay, so let's work on find my name here. So find my name is going to be an array of people first, and it's going to take a string, and then it's going to return an array of people. Pretty clear. Now it all works down, and does that actually work? So let's give that a try. Find my name. Oh, yep, looks like we're good. So we've got iPerson, and interestingly, it's all working. So, ooh, yes, async await. Good call, very good call. So let's go and add on height. I don't know, and we'll do it in feet. 6.2, which is wrong. 6.1, 6.0. But is this going to work? Okay. So it's saying that it's fine, which I'm a little bit concerned by. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this interface. Bring it in here. And then say that this people array is an array of persons. Okay. So now we're starting to see some helpful hinting here. Like, for example, height is not part of iPerson, and therefore it doesn't belong here. And there you go. So that's the kind of thing that you're starting to look for when it comes to TypeScript. Is it helping me write more valid code and convey my intentions as an engineer more clearly? Async await. Actually, you know what? Oh, wow. Okay. We'll get there in a second. But all right, I'm actually thinking about doing a whole video on looping around promises, because, oh my gosh, I've seen so many people have issues with, they need to resolve a bunch of promises. They need to make a bunch of requests. It all needs to be done either serially or in parallel. And it is just so hard because for each doesn't work with async await and things like that. So, a whole bunch of patterns that you can use to make that work. Okay. So, filter people definitely takes an iPerson as input, and it would give an iPerson array as output. But what of this filter function? So the way that we define a function in this case is we say, well, let's go just make a type for it. We'll say the type filter func is a function. And in this case, it takes a person. And what does it return? Well, it returns a Boolean, whether that person matches or not. So we can put that in there as our filter function. And it's looking pretty good. Now, an interesting question is, this is kind of like overkill, right? Because find my name, can I get rid of this? Possibly. The filter function is a callback, right? The filter function is a callback to the people.filter, which is just the basic array filter. So all it's going to do is when you call filter on an array, it takes a predicate. That predicate takes whatever it is that you're iterating over, which in this case is a person, and then the output of that function has to be a Boolean or something that's truthy. They basically say whether if it's true, then you want to keep the person in the array or the thing in the array. If it's false, you want to get rid of that thing. That's how filter works. No, Isaac, there are no dumb questions. Seriously. I honestly mean that. Okay. So let's go take a look at find my name again, just one more time, and see if it's smart enough to figure this out. Nope. Okay, it still thinks that people can be anything, so we got to go and put that in there. Okay. So now the same thing for find by profession and find by pet. And those are also all strings. But actually, you know what? Maybe TypeScript can help us out a little bit here, because now, is this a question of how lazy do you want to get? Can I get rid of that? Can I get rid of the return, or do I need to even put it over here? And the reason I ask that question is because filter people is the only thing that find by name is ever going to do. And filter people will only ever return an array of people, right? So is this doable now? Well, let's try that again. Find by name. And yeah, okay. So this is telling us that find by name takes an array of persons, which we specified up here, takes a name, which is specified right there, and it returns an I person. So we don't even need to go and put that on there. And that's good. Strongly recommended when you use TypeScript, keep your typing to just where you need it. Don't over type stuff unless it's required. Okay. I think in the past I've actually done like a type coverage thing to see how we're doing. So let's try that. So type coverage is a node module, and it basically tells us how good our type coverage is. So I think it's going to be pretty strong right now. So let's try this out. And we can do that in development mode. Cool. And now to run it, we just put it as another script. All right, let's try this out. Hey, Jordan, happy Friday. Okay, cool. So we've got 86 things that could be typed, and we've got 80 of them typed. So let's see, can I get more detail on that? Oh, I can. Nice. Okay, let's click on that. Yep, and it all has to do with Mr. Get First Pet here. It's so confusing. It just looks like the destructuring without the brackets. You're talking about the types up here, like this one? Let me know, Isaac. Let me know what's confusing, because that's why I'm here. So we're going to go and say first off that we want a person. And it's either going to be a string, because in this case we're returning either none or the person and pets. Okay, let's see how we do type coverage wise. And hey, we're fully type covered. Nice. And do we run? Will it blend? It will not blend. Ah, okay, that's an interesting one. So what's happening here is that by default, TypeScript is kind of in this world of kind of pure JavaScript. And it doesn't know that the array has the include function on it, which is really weird, because I think that is part of the standard JavaScript world now. But in order to fix that, we just do yarn add types node, and use that in development mode only. And now TypeScript will just know that it includes exists, and there you go. Is it a convention to give interfaces with an I at the beginning? I do. I think that's because I used to do a lot of Java back in the day. And that's just kind of a convention in that space. It's just a convention, yeah. Yeah. Okay. We can actually do one better here, because we've got the optional chaining system within TypeScript, which exists in JavaScript as well, although you have to use it as a Babel extension, depending on your interpreter. And in that world, we can really simplify the heck out of this. We can say, if a person has pets, and if a pet has a 0th item, then return that. Otherwise, return none. Does that work? Why is it telling me I got a problem here? Expected a... Oh, I see. It's just a really weird little syntax there with the question mark dot thing. Pretty jank. Let's try that out. Okay, there you go. Now, Yeah, I'm a huge fan of chaining myself. All right. So there is a little bit of a difference here. So let's go back over here and we'll say that my first pet is a dog named Zero, which makes no sense. Well, actually, well, hold on. Is a dog with no name. There you go. Hey, dog, your name is no name. So what's happening here is that it's looking at this and it's getting back for that an empty string. And in that case, an empty string qualifies as null-ish, which is not quite what we want. So what we can do is we can use the question mark operator, which is much more specific. And what this operator does is it says, if this value on the right-hand side is null or undefined, then use this value. Otherwise, just give this. So in this case, it will return my no-name pet. Let's see. Okay. So you see, expect an empty line, and we got an empty line, so there you go. Empty string is null, exactly. So you have two choices in this world. You've got this one, which matches, that's going to be hard to read. You got the double pipe, which matches empty string, zero, null, undefined, probably a few more that I can't even think about. And then this one just matches null and undefined. And that's really important because I think these two can really trip you up, right? Sometimes empty string is what you want. Sometimes zero is what you want. Sometimes zero is a valid value. I'm guessing false is in there too. So really important to kind of understand the difference between these two and pick the one that's semantically right for your application. Okay. So yeah, that's about it for my little definition of, you know what? I'll leave that down there for you because I'll probably put this up on GitHub and you can have that. You can have all of it. I'm here to teach. Get whatever you want. Okay. Falsy value, exactly. Have I done all the falsies? I bet you there's more. Being JavaScript and all. Okay. So all right. Now that was fun. That's the array part of this. And since it's pretty early on, actually, do you want to take a look over at what since many of you seem to be into React, do you want to go and take a look at my most recent find when it comes to, oh yeah, Nan? Yeah, that would probably be probably one as well. This new Valshio state manager. You want to take a look at that for a second? And I'll walk you through that. It's actually pretty cool. I'm going to take your not saying anything as let's do this thing. So let's go to Stack Blitz. And we'll try out this weather starter. All right, Christopher, let's do this thing. And I'm all in. Okay. Let me just add on Nan here. Because I'm that kind of guy. I'm dyslexic. I just go all over the place all the time. Most definitely. I like it. Okay. So here's what we got, party people. We've got this Stack Blitz app. Here, I'll throw it over to you. You can play along with the home game. It's got no state currently. It's got these two components. One's called search. That's the light baby blue type deal here. And one's called cities over here. That's that green thing. There is a weather thing a weather function. It basically just gets me some weather. I don't want to go into deep detail on this. This just hits up a GraphQL API, and you're more than happy to go and look at that, and that's fine. Okay, but then let's take a look at our components over here because that's really the important part. So we've got our cities. That's this guy. Basically, there's a line at the top. We have a grid. it uses these weather results, and then the weather result is this guy right here. Okay, actually, that's why does that work? How about import weather result from weather result? That'll make that better. Okay, so let me fork this, and let's get cracking with Valshio. Okay, so here's what I'm looking for any state manager, whether it be Zustand or what are the other ones? God, they're coming with these crazy names. Jotai, Recoil, all this stuff. I want to be able to use I want to be able to manage shared state. Duh. I want to be able to subscribe to that state from React. I want to be able to have a mutation from React. I want to be able to subscribe to it from non-React. That's actually important. And also mutate from non-React. To me, that's really important. I want to be able to have methods on my global state. I want to be able to have derived data. And I want to have optimized re-renders. And here's one that I should have added in yesterday's video. I'm going to add this. Complex data types aren't weird. Meaning that if I have to like do arrays or do objects, that it's like, it's not this huge problem, right? I wanted to use an array like an array. I just want to use an object like an object. So let's see if Valshio can do all that. So I'm going to go over here to my dependencies, add on Valshio. Ooh, wow. Okay, he's bumped the version number, which could make this interesting fast. So, all right, we'll create a new file called store.ts. That's going to be our global store. It's going to be in Typescript. And we'll just start by importing a new thing called, let me go Valshio and see what it's got now. What's your new API service? Cool. Same API service as before. Excellent. So we're going to bring in proxy. And proxy has how you create a store. So we're going to say that our interface for the store includes a city, which is a string. And then we're going to create that store. So we'll start by proxy. We're going to give it the store definition so it knows what it's creating. And then we'll say that city is going to start off with Isaac Land, just so we can see if it's working. I don't know where Isaac Land is located, but I'm sure it's a great place. So here we go. We're going to export the storel. And let's go over here to clients, or cities. Search. There you go. And then we'll use import use proxy from Valshio. And that's how you get access to the data. So we got to bring in the store. And we'll see if Isaac Land comes up. So we're going to go and grab a snapshot from the store. It's next to a beach. Absolutely. I would love to go to the beach. Actually, I did go to the beach like last couple weekends ago. It's nice. So first one I want to see is, oh, look at that. So value is true. That's cool. Okay, what we really want is the snapshot with the city. There you go. Isaac Land. Nice. You know, hard to be much more simple than that, honestly. But if we want to go and change this value, right, we got to be able to have, change that to something. So we'll go have an on change, get an event back. And then the incredibly complex way that we interact with this system is we say equals event target value. And that's it. That's literally it. That's what it takes. Oops, hold on. Why is that? Okay. Okay. See, I told you this could be spicy. It could be very spicy. you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do valscio at 0.2.1, which is what I did the original video at, and see if that's the problem. Nope, that's not the problem. So on change, taking an event, and it's setting the snapshots. Oh, I know what it is. It's setting the store.city. Duh. There we go. Great. Okay. Now let's go back to the newest version. Okay, cool. That actually trips you up. Like, what's the difference between? Yeah, so we want to set the store value using equals. Is it something like xstate? Is this a state machine? It is definitely not like xstate. Xstate has a very specific model about how everything is managed, and there are different states, and there's different data in different states, and there's transitions. It's an amazing system, but this is not that. This is more like, I've got a couple of pieces of data that I just need to go and share between these two objects. How do I do that? And I'm going to either do that with use state and use context, which would require that I go and do stuff up here and have a context and manage all that state, or you can use a system like store.js. My apologies, Isaac. If I sounded bad there. No worries though. Great questions. This one just allows you to have, easily manageable state. And let's go back here for a second. Another important thing, I didn't put in any provider or anything like that. So you're starting to see stuff right away, and it's pretty cool. So let's go back over here and check off some things. So yes, it allows me to do manage state, and it allows me to do subscriptions and mutations from React. So that's what we're seeing there. Okay. So now that I got my city, I want to be able to, there's no weather in Isaac land, so so I just make that empty. And it's really cool, right? I mean, look at how cool that literally just changed just like that. Yeah, okay. And so how do I go and add a city? So I'm going to go and create a new function over my store. I'm going to export that as a const and call add city. Okay. And now I need to bring in my get weather system. Get weather and weather result. All right. And now I'm going to have a bunch of cities in here. So I'm going to create another interface called iCityWeather. And it's going to have the name of the city. And it's going to have the weather. And that weather is going to be a weather result. And then within the store, we're going to have an array of these guys. We'll call that cities. Okay. And then one last thing we got to do is fix this so cities defaults to null, to an empty array. Okay. So what's going to happen in here is when I add my city, it's going to go and use get weather and then add, push into that array. So let's try that out. So this will be an async function because it needs to use async await, which is another thing, that I would do your research on when it comes to your upcoming interview. Definitely async await. Maybe understand callbacks as well. Callbacks are definitely not the thing nowadays. Everybody wants to get to promises, or so it seems. So, but it's good to know. So we're going to await on get weather from store.city. And we'll call that weather once we get it. And then if there is weather, meaning that we actually found some, then we want to push that result into store.cities. And we'll give it the name of the city. And we'll give it the new piece of weather. There we go. Okay, so let's go back over to our cities, our search thing, and then bring in add city and just hook that onto the button. Now I can do that. I can say, Miami, add city, and who knows if it worked. So because I'm not displaying this anywhere. So let's go back over here to cities. And now it's time for us to go and connect this guy to the store. So again, we'll go and grab, because I'm lazy like that, I'll go and grab this code, put it in there. We're not going to be able to add cities from there, but we are going to get a snapshot. Bring that in. And we'll just do snapshot.cities. Oh my gosh. Wow, that actually, holy crikeys. Okay, so React Refresh actually maintained its state like that. And so now in Miami, it's 76 degrees outside. Balmy. Wow. Let's make that actually not quite so crappy looking. Math.round. Oops. Whoa. This is the fun of working in one of these online editors, is like sometimes the key bindings can like move you to a different tab. Okay. Sick. It's lit. Yeah, so here we go. In Miami at 6.2 mph, it's 77 degrees outside. It feels like 75. Oh, geez. Maybe it's that wind, and there's broken clouds. So let's see how we're doing in Portland. Anybody else want to throw in a city? Portland is 0.45 miles per hour. I agree. 49 degrees outside, 46. Anyone want to throw in your hometown, and I'm there. We'll try that out. Okay, cool though, right? Holy moly. So we've got this thing working, and again, nothing happened in app. The only things that I added any code to were this component and this component, meaning that like any other component on the page, like doesn't know anything about this. Oh, Carl's, it has to be, oh, Asheville. I'm going to go with Asheville. Carl's Kathmandu. That could be cool. All right, here we go. Asheville, North Carolina. Nice. Let's see. Kathmandu. Kathmandu is 50 degrees and 1 mile per hour wind. Ooh, Isaac, you're an evil person. Aruba. Oh, 86. That sounds so good. Okay. So let's go over to our what I want from a thing. Complex types are not weird. I would definitely say that is true. If I can just go and have an array that's like that, and then just push to the array, that's a pretty good one. Barcelona. Okay. Ooh, nice. 52. So that's nice. What else? Allow for subscriptions from non-React. Haven't tried that yet, but we definitely did a mutation from non-React, and we allowed for methods on global state using that, which is that add city method. Very cool. So let's go and do a subscription from non-React. I'm not really going to go into much detail on this, but I'm going to show how it does, how it do. Oh no, we've lost all our cities. That's a drag. So there's a subscribe method, and you just give it the store that you want to subscribe to. I think you can also give it subfields, so let's try that. And we'll say console.log, cities changed. And you could do whatever you want in there, whatever logic. We're just going to do, add Miami again. I don't know why I'm going to Miami. Okay, cool. There you go. So cities have changed. Let's go and use Karlsruhe, because I didn't bring that up before, I don't think. Nice. Ooh, crikeys. You got me beat. Wow. Just above freezing, but it feels much worse. Wow. Okay. But it's clear. Nice. Oh, wow. There you go. Karlsruhe. Nice. Oh, wow. Palace. That's really cool. Nice. Okay. When COVID clears up, Karlsruhe may be a spot to go. Looks really cool. Maybe we'll do an outdoor shoot, some sort of video in there, and be really cool. Germany. All right. Okay. So, yeah, way simpler than Redux. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Okay, so we can allow subscriptions from non-React. I guess the last thing to do would be to check out a derived data from global state, which in this case would be like the average of all the, I would say, of all these temperatures. So let's give that a go. So to do that, there's a couple of different ways. Let's just try, okay, let's do the one that's kind of makes it feel like it's part of the store. So I'm going to do get average temperature. And it's going to be a function that returns a number. Okay. And let's go implement that. So first, if the cities is 0, I'm going to return 0. I got not a number in the original video. I'll be a little bit better this time. Otherwise, let's first sum it all up. And we'll do that by using reduce. So we'll start off with 0, and then we'll use the accumulator plus the weather, temperature, actual. Why don't you like that? Oh, there you go. Okay, there you go. So that's the sum of all of the temperatures, and now we'll divide it by the number of cities, because average is is the number over the number, the sum over the number, if I remember my grade school math right. And let's see. So we've got now the store. So let's go back over to cities and just put in for the average store dot, nope, sorry, snapshot dot, and then the average temperature. And away you go. Let's try it out. Miami. Cool. Aruba. I need to do this with SSR. Yeah. You're talking like in a Next.js context? Yeah, interesting. So yeah, okay, let's go over to what I need here. So let's see, allows for derived data from a global state, definitely does that. So let's take a look at re-renders. Let's see, because that's another thing that's really important about your global state manager. If we had a provider up here for some context, like a context.provider up here, whatever that is. If I was going to use context, it would be something like that. Then what's going to happen is anytime that main context changes, then everything underneath of it is going to go and refresh. So what we're looking for our ideal state manager is to, if I make a change or if this changes, then only this component re-renders. So what we're going to do is bring up this in a new window, and then go to inspect, bring up our components panel, which is part of the React developer tools. And then we'll use highlight update when components re-render, turn that on. So now we can see that, we do get some refreshing here because that's the level. But now when I click this, what we're looking for is that only this guy over here updates. So let's check that out. And there you go. So we made a change. The add city function did a push on the cities, and only this component, which is looking at cities, and we didn't have to specify anything about that, updated. So that is really, really cool. It's smart enough to understand that this component, the cities component, is only looking at the cities and the average temperature, and really it's just the cities. So when this one updates, this component updates, but this component over here, which only uses city, does not. So that's really, really cool, and that's what we're looking for. So 9 out of 9 from the Russian judge. So cool. Anyway, sounds like you guys are pretty excited by Valshio. I'm pretty excited by it. I think it's really cool. Honestly, I've taken a look at a bunch of these. there's new ones coming out all the time. The reason is that, I think people are starting to move away from big, huge Redux stores or Redux sagas in particular, and they're trying to do stuff with everything with use context or use state, or like Next.js's initial data stuff, but it's just not sufficient. Like, you still need some shared data, and so systems like Recoil or Zustand or Jotai and now Valshio kind of fit in that gap. So I think it's really cool, and I'm really impressed by it. It's really cool. I'll have to go and see why, what the difference was between 0.2.1 which is what I did my video on just yesterday, and 0.3.1, which is what we're getting today, actually was. It looks like they did add, let's see, snapshot, which I'm not sure what that is. So maybe we can go see, actually. npm.js, Valshio. Okay, we'll go over here. Okay, so proxy, mutate from anywhere, subscribe from anywhere, suspenses right out of the box. Oh, look at that. Okay. Oh, look at that. I haven't even gotten to that. That's really cool. Is there anything on? No. Okay. But that, oh, look at that. Wow. Okay. That is neat. Not, okay. Yeah, that is cool. Valshio is really new. It is very, very new. Okay. Well, I think that about wraps it up for me. What I'm going to do is I am going to switch over to my Discord server, where it's traditional. After the end of every live stream, I just go on the Discord server and we have a chat. It's not recorded. You can ask me anything you want about all of it. Yeah. So no need for loadable components. Oh yeah, I wouldn't. Oh. I mean, I would say, yeah, look at that. That is really nice. Like, so that, yeah. Yeah, it's a nice state manager. Okay, so I'm going to go give you guys the link for the Discord server, and you can jump on and say hi, and we can talk about Germany and Aruba and all kinds of fun stuff, or talk about state managers. Jump on board. I'll see you there in just a few. Have a great weekend. As always, be happy, be healthy, be safe.